Hey YouTube, Ashroodle here, behind the camera for once, instead of in front of it, to do something a little bit different than my normal videos. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, seen a lot of people do a lot of things, but one thing I've always been interested in is toy reviews. Now, I'm not really going to keep doing this is just kind of for fun, since I've watched a lot of people do these types of reviews. And since I just got this today on my birthday, and I haven't done anything in a while on YouTube, I figured I'd tell you a story about a certain Kamen Rider. A Kamen Rider named SH FiguArts Kamen Rider Skull Crystal. First FiguArts that I've ever bought, even though I felt like buying some before, but never really felt like spending that amount of money on this type of figure. But once I found out that for Movie Core, Skull was getting a brand new figure with the same finish as Kamen Rider Joker, I figured I had to get this one, because I'm a huge Double fan and even more huge Skull fan. I picked this up from Rider Proxy off Henshin Justice Unlimited, and let's give it a whirl. As you can see here, black box, Kamen Rider Skull Crystal in silver print, picture of Crystal Skull up to the side. Same thing on the side, nice detailing there. On the back, you can see a few action shots of how to, well, pose Skull. Not gonna bother trying to tell you what any of this is, because somebody else will probably do that in another video, but gives you a good idea of how you can pose Skull. But now let's get him out of the box and see how hard-boiled he is. Immediately after taking him out of the box, you have Skull in his Skull Crystal form, which he first transforms into during the events of the double portion of Movie Core 2011, Message to Double. And honestly, I don't really enjoy this form. I mean, it's Skull as growing Kuga, in a sense. But to me, without the fedora, it really doesn't seem it's Skull. But I digress. Right now, the head of Skull Crystal, a little hard to see the camera, is just kind of a milky plastic. It's not really as translucent as it appears in the movie. But I think for what it is, they did a good job. As you can see, I tried to recreate the pose that he has on the box with a closed fist. And speaking of fist, Skull comes with a good number of fists. Right now he has his closed fist hands, which are for light posing or beating the crap out of someone. Then Skull also has two holding hands, which right now he's using to hold his Skull Magnum in maximum drive mode, which the Skull Magnum is usually always in unless he's inserting the Skull memory. You also see I changed the scarf from the regular stand-in scarf to the action scarf, as I'm dubbing it, to make it look like Skull's moving. Forgive the lack of better posing, since this is my first figure art, I'm really not familiar with how to pose them well. There are 3 more sets of hands for Skull, and I could show you them with Crystal Skull, but they'd be more appropriate with the Skull that we all know. Now for that, a slight change is in order.
道家用済みはお前だ変身
After accepting the sins of his partner and realizing the full potential of the Skull memory, the boss becomes the form of Skull that we all know. With his trademark fedora and S-shape cracked on his helmet, Skull is ready to protect Futo. And this, it is a little hard to see, but the hand Skull has right now are two, is on his right hand he has a spade open hand, which honestly there's two different versions. One slightly spade open, and then this one is all the way open. The one that's slightly slightly open is just an open-handed hand, and the other is, as you can see, used to hold his hat. The last hand, though, lets Skull strike up a pose that we're all familiar with. With his last set of hands, Skull can tell you the phrase that all double fans are familiar with. Sa, omane suniru, kozero.
さあお前の罪を数えろ
Or in English, now, count up your sins. Other than this, accessory-wise, Skull also comes with one more hat, which you can use to recreate the end of his fight with Taboo, or the dummy Dopant impersonating Skull in Movie War 2010. So, overall, for about $60 or a little more, I think I paid for this from Rider Proxy, I'm pretty impressed, not only with how he's done, and just FiguArts in general. This is a very interesting figure, a lot of posability, though sadly I don't have the skill right now to show it off, or a camera to get really good detail. Other than this, in this version of Skull, they gave two little plastic pieces that almost look like contacts in a way. What these are supposed to do is, a main problem of the original Skull figure art is the hat would go on too tightly and start to chip the paint, which I'm glad mine's not done yet. What these are supposed to do is you're supposed to place this on top of Skull's head. Kind of reminds me of a see-through Me-Tool helmet. And then put the hat on. The problem is, it's very light on there. Like, if I shake this box, you can see it falls off. Which, I'm just probably going to leave him with this hat on anyway, since that's how I like Skull, and that's how I always picture Skull. I'm going to give you a general idea of sizing of a FiguArt, if many of you don't know. Here's Skull compared to his, well, I think Sophobi? Or, I'm actually not sure how this one's pronounced. Version of Skull that I bought a few years ago. You see, he towers over a little, but the main difference is this doesn't really pose any other than the arms, and this has posing out the wazoo. For something more easily recognizable stateside, here is a Super Legends Green Ranger figure compared to Skull. As you can see, they're about the same height. Which is funny since this is retailed $6, maybe $7, and this is retailed between $50 and $60 depending on who you go. Now if you're looking to buy FiguArts, most FiguArts can be purchased at mainstream Japanese toy sites such as Amy, Hobby Link Japan, Hobby Search, or CS Toys. Now the only thing I have to tell you is, cheapest gonna run you is Amy, highest is CS Toys. Though with a figure like this, which is a Tamashii web exclusive, means you're not gonna find it on regular retail sites. CS Toys will have it, but like I had to do, you'll have to find a middleman. And there's a good number of middlemen, and one that I got mine from, like I said before, is Rider Proxy from Henshin Justice Unlimited. So just check out her thread and she'll help you out with any of your Toku needs. And with that, I think I've pretty much covered all I really have to say right now about this figure. Other than this, today I ordered a Tamashii Web Joker stage to have him stand on, since the stage itself looks pretty cool, and you can put the Gaia memories on it, and it has a little plaque, and it just overall seemed like a good investment for my first FiguArt. I'm tempted to get FiguArts Joker just because I've seen a picture. yeah, that picture looks really cool, and it's, since I'm personally a fan of both the boss and I cosplay Shotaro, it seems like it might be worth my money. But other than that, thanks for watching my first FiguArts review, and actually first toy review I've done on my channel. There probably won't be another one since I'm not really the best at doing this kind of review. I'll just stick to doing what I normally do. And anything else on my channel, you can check out my Kamen Rider Skull music video that's about 20 or so videos back. And I think that's about it. So, catch you later, YouTube. Check out my Akon stuff when it comes up in a couple of weeks.